Hello, everybody.
Hello.
We are Living Light, Loving Life. If you're new here, I'm Austin.
I'm Tara.
And this week, we have a Q&A video for you.
So we're 4 years into full-time RV living. That's the two of us. We have 2 kids and 2 dogs. And so after our first year, we did a Q&A. And I literally could, I swear it feels like we did it just yesterday. Because I was like, babe, that was just like last year that we did a Q&A. No, it was 3 years ago. So, and if you go back and watch it, it's hilarious because we kind of are like very monotone.
Well,
but you know what I
it's
just
crazy
thought of
watching
this?
your old videos and you get used to being recorded.
And I was thinking the kids were probably napping is the reason why we were probably kind of like had real like whispery voices.
Maybe.
Because back then they were only 2 and 3, so we had to like record videos and stuff during nap times or early bedtimes or whatever, because otherwise they were just like right here. Right now we're able to give them some electronics. Don't judge us. They're getting screen time right now.
It doesn't matter.
Or do. We don't care. They're getting screen time. So we are going to come on.
We've got some questions. And this is really just so you guys can get to know us a little better if you're interested in that. And, you know, after 4 years of doing this, we get a lot of questions just from anything.
Yeah.
And then so we sent out a post and got some questions on that, and then we just have some questions that we've just gotten over time that we're just going to kind of shoot through here off the cuff.
We'll try to make it like as quick as possible, and
Yep.
I'm like a talker, so I'll try not to do that, and I'll try to make them quick and easy.
Yeah, so we're just going to jump right into this with question numero uno, and that is...
What inspired you to travel full-time, and did the pandemic play a role?
I think I'll let you start.
I think, honestly, Austin's job at the time, he got a job that allowed him to go remote, and then he was going to be traveling some. And we were both working opposite schedules of each other. He would work Monday through Friday normal hours, and I would have the kids. And then I'm a hairstylist, or was. And so I would work evenings and weekends. And when you do that, for all 4 of us to have time together, there's not a whole lot of time for that. We never really got vacations very often, maybe once or twice a year at best. And so I think that's what inspired us, is just the opportunity to have more time together and travel together.
Yeah, I mean, we had the opportunity to do it, and we just did it.
We started YouTubing. And
you know, we had never RV'd, neither one of us. We had never RV'd before. We had camped a little bit, tent camping when I was a kid, but that was about it. So I never done anything like this, so we just kind of took the chance, did it. And when it came to COVID, did COVID have anything to do with it? I would say no. You know, we left in September of 2020, so that was...
So I don't think the pandemic really had anything to do with it. We're glad that we did what we did when we did it. That was a lot of dids. But because I feel like being on the road and moving, we were able to travel to places that we still had community. Because I know a lot of people with the pandemic were shut up inside, and we totally understand that and respect everybody in their own ways. But for us, we still were adventuring outside and had a community around us.
But I think, long story short, I think it was just, you know, being with the kids.
More family time and more vacation together, or more seeing the country together.
So I think that was really it on that.
Okay, let's go to
question 2.
What was the hardest part of going full time?
Really wasn't that hard. I mean, going from 2,200 square feet down to 371 square feet, I mean, that's an adjustment. But ultimately, I mean, you adapt. I've never really thought it was very difficult to do that. Yeah, you lose your space a lot, I guess. You lose a lot of space, but the whole point of the lifestyle is to be outside, and that's what we did. We chased the weather. So I didn't really have any that hard things, did you?
No, I mean, I think because we're the full-time RVers who move often. So I think the hardest part for me and for the kids was leaving family and friends. But, you know, we're able to travel back to them and visit pretty often. So that made it good. But, you know, I know a lot of full-timers just go full-time RV living and stay stationary next to their friends and family, and just travel sometimes. We're kind of opposite of that. We stay gone most of the time, and then we come back to visit, which kind of brings us into number 3. Do you miss your family?
Sure.
Of course we miss our family and friends. And we've made new family and friends all across the United States that we miss them too. But the beauty about travel is we're able to visit them more often than we would have being stationary and having a mortgage and only getting to take maybe 2 vacations a year.
Well, we're originally from Oklahoma, and we do try to go back there every 3 to 5 months ish for about a month or maybe 2 months at a time, depending on when it is for like the holidays. Like now we're making our way back up to Oklahoma to spend November and December there, and then we'll take off again. So we do try to go back and try to see family and friends as much as we can, because we do enjoy that. So
yeah,
I would say yeah, we do. But
so hardest thing was that for me. But yeah, okay.
So number 4 is, well, what do you do for work? How do you pay for it? I have a full-time job, just like I would in the Sticks and Bricks, just like I did before we left. I do travel, so a couple weeks out of each month. For a few days out of those weeks, I might fly out or have to leave for a few days. I just leave from wherever I'm at. So there's really no difference there. Sometimes I'm actually really close to where I'm going, so it actually benefits us. And then Tara does social media stuff, and we work with Highland Ridge RV. We work with some RV places and resorts and things like that. So that's how we're able to pay for it. That's a pretty short one. I have a full-time job.
Yeah.
How it is. So
definitely.
Numero 5. Okay, so
we get this quite often. What insurance, medical and RV do you use?
So my insurance is through my work.
Medical insurance.
Yeah, medical's through my works, and that works. We just make sure to call and ask if they take it.
It's nationwide. Most medical insurances are nationwide. You just have to call and see if they're within your network or not.
And knock on wood, we're a pretty healthy family so far. Here.
I'm like, don't
wood.
even.
That's not wood. But
that isn't wood. But
we don't have to. Well, when we do have to go, I have medical insurance through my company. When it comes to RV insurance, we use National General. We've gone through a few different ones. We've gone through. We had Progressive for a long time. We had Good Sam, which is the same thing. I think it's National General. But our truck is through Progressive, and our RV is through National General. That was just the best rates that we got at the time. When full-time, the rates are a little higher, so you do have to find, I think Progressive, Good Sam, and National General were the only ones who offered a full-time coverage on the RV. So that's the answer to that one.
Kind of takes us into our next one, too. Do you use any type of camping passes or memberships?
So we use, for all of our travel and how we find places, Google, obviously, and word of mouth. But we use RV Trip Wizard, RV Life. It's the same thing. It's like a $50 membership a year. It's a whole directory, and it gives you the reviews, and it tracks all your routes.
We can put the link so you can check it out, can't we?
Yeah. So you can look that up.
Oh my gosh, it's amazing.
Yeah, we've used it from day one. It's kept all of our stays. It helps. It helps with low bridges. You put your dimensions in there, and it tells you where you can and can't go.
Yeah, so it helps with travel days too.
So yeah, I think that we also have Good Sam that gets you discounts at RV places. That's beneficial, and then we use the KOA stuff.
Stay at a lot of KOAs, so their points add up, and we're able to cash those in. And I will also mention memberships. I do an ASTC membership, museum membership with the kids. We can link that below too. It's amazing. There are over 350 museums and science centers across the United States that are a part of this that we get into for free. And our membership for a family of 4 is only $100 for the year. So that saves us an incredible amount of money, because I take the kids basically on a field trip every Friday, whether that be a park, a science center, a nature center, a museum, or whatnot. We're here. So yes, that's another membership that we do.
Other than that, though, we don't. We had Harvest Host for a while. We don't do that because we don't boondock.
Yeah.
Other than that, we don't use anything else. Okay, so the next one is 7.
Mm-hmm.
Do you recommend any websites or communities to register with to learn all the RV spots in each state? Facebook has tons of groups out there. I'm not on any of those. I don't know if you are. But
I mean, I think I'm a part of some of them, but I don't really check them out.
There's full-time families that we've heard a lot about.
Yeah, that's one that you do have to pay for that, I think, to become a member of full-time families. But supposedly it's a wonderful thing, to be a part of. You find families that are like-minded that you can travel with and get ideas from and stuff like that. That's just not really something that we've ever done. We have had no problem finding our RV through RV Trip Wizard and then cross-referencing with Google. We have no problem finding our spots that we want to travel to. I follow tons of travelers, just fellow travelers on social media that I'm like, ooh, they went there. I want to go there. That looks awesome. Like, let's check that place out.
And a lot of word of mouth.
Word of mouth.
Meeting people in the parks.
Oh, yeah. As soon as you get to a park, I make friends with someone and I'm like, okay, what's the local spots that we're supposed to go to? What's the best food, the best, adventures, whatnot. So, yeah, we don't really belong to any communities as far other than just social media. Okay, so next question. How do you pick where you go? So that's pretty easy for us. I mean, Austin, we don't have free roam to travel the whole United States. With Austin's job, he does have a 7-state territory. So we are allowed to roam freely within those 7 states, but if we leave those 7 states, he has to be on vacation. So within those 7 states, I just do my research. You don't ever pick anywhere where we I guess unless it's for work, unless he has something that he's like, hey, I got to be in this area by this time. What can we find to do in that area? Other than that, it's usually me being like, hey, look what I found. We can go here. This is cool. So I just kind of put most of that together for us.
So that's that.
Which kind of goes into the next question. How far in advance do you plan your itinerary? Not very far.
We are not 6-month outers or a year out or even sometimes 2 months out or a month out.
Currently, we got here and still didn't really know where we were going next. We were waiting to hear back from an RV resort, and so we just still didn't book. Didn't have anything booked.
We do a lot of things on the whim. We do a lot of monthlies when we travel. That's about as long as we stay anywhere. But that could be, we could pick the next monthly a week before we're supposed to leave the last one. Or depending on where to go, like we're in South Padre right now, we knew we kind of had to book that one because it does fill up during this time of the year. So this one's been booked for 3 or 4 months.
I would say
that was probably the first time we've ever done that.
I would say the only time that I really book in advance is if I know it's a very, very high populated destination place. If
we're going on vacation.
If he goes on vacation, the vacation spots that we've been to is like Niagara Falls and up in Wyoming and Yellowstone and all those places. Like, you've got to be on top of making those reservations. But other than that, we don't book in advance.
We kind of just fly by the seat of our pants. That's kind of the point of
where life takes us.
Kind of the point of the lifestyle. So that's what we do.
So this is a good one. What do you do for mail?
Yeah, so we have, we use a company called Texas Home Base that's based out of Wichita Falls, Texas. And so, like I said, we're from Oklahoma, and I knew that this existed. I think there's a few different companies that do this. But what they did, I pay, I think it's like $220 a year. They gave us a physical address that we were able to register our vehicles and get our insurance through and our driver's license.
Texas residents.
And so we are Wichita Falls, Texas residents.
Yes.
Which actually saved on state income tax because Texas is no state income tax.
Yay.
So that helped us there.
Austin did a full video.
Yeah, so I'll link it down below.
And so we'll link it below. Go watch it. It gives you all the details on everything that you could possibly want to know.
But anyways, all of our mail goes there.
But ours is Texas Home Base.
And they upload it. We see it online. We can shred it or send it to us. But most mail is electronic now, so that's just really a holding spot for us to get all of our stuff.
In 4 years, we have had no issues with them. They've been great.
They've been great.
Okay, and then what do we do for internet?
Internet, so I also did a video on this recently. I'll link that one down below as well, but we use Verizon Home Internet. It's fantastic. We have no issues. We've had it for about 2 years.
Starlink, You're paying too much.
You're paying too much.
I'm sorry.
We've met a lot of people with Starlink. We do a lot of tree places that they're not able to get it. Verizon, I've never had any issues. We used to have the T-Mobile home internet and the Verizon home internet, and I actually just recently got rid of T-Mobile because Verizon worked everywhere.
Which, like we've said, we don't boondock, so I don't know if Starlink works when you're boondocking.
Yeah, I'm sure there's reasons for it.
There's probably reasons for it,
but
it's
$50 a month.
It's incredible to me that people pay so much for that.
Check out the video. We'll keep it there.
It's so worth it.
There's a lot.
And T-Mobile has one too. Did you say that already? Okay. But yeah, check that out. Okay, so we're now on. Let's do. What school do you use? So obviously the kids are older than when we first started. They are now 5 and Rudy just turned 7. So school, I homeschool them. In the beginning, we just did kind of our own thing. Now I use kind of a mixture of stuff. I have the Good and the Beautiful curriculum, and then we just started a new program called Logics of English for our English, and so far so good. We're liking it. And then, other than those 2 curriculums, I just do a lot of stuff on my own. We do, a lot of learning.
A lot of hands-on.
A lot of hands-on. Tons of visits to places where we're at, learning about nature and just life. We just recently started teaching them how to budget, and they're now getting an allowance, and they have to learn how to pay us with their allowance for the things that we're charging them for. So it all sounds crazy, but it's just part of life that, we want them to learn these life skills, early on. But the 2 curriculums would be Logics of English and the Good and the Beautiful that I'm using right now.
Okay, 13. Is it getting better and easier as the kids get older, or is it harder? I would say it's easier, honestly.
You think?
I would, personally, we're able to do more bigger stuff, I guess, like you could say, like cooler stuff.
So in the beginning when they were so young, we couldn't necessarily do some of the crazy things that we wanted to do. Like we just, if you watched our last video to celebrate 4 years, we took them parasailing, and they were able to finally do something crazy like that with us, and they loved it.
And you also got to think, I think that question goes to whoever asked, is it easier, like are they adaptive to it or what? I would say, they were so young when we left. This is what they know. This is what they understand. They actually love it. We do ask them, do they want to stop? Do they want to go to a normal school? The answer is always no. And so we're kind of letting them dictate that.
Not completely, but we'll let them have a little bit of it.
They got to have some say in that. But I would say for me, it's gotten easier. The kids are getting bigger. And so that means more brattiness and talking back. So that's harder.
I was going to say, for me, it's probably just a little harder. When they were little, they, because I'm the one homeschooling them. So I deal with the talking back and the days where they don't want to do school, or they're fighting me on this, or they're fighting me on that. So in that aspect, for me, it's a little bit harder than when they were just little and just wanted to play in the dirt.
I don't think this is nothing compared to teenage years coming.
So. Probably not. But so I don't know. That's a tough question because I wouldn't say it's necessarily easier or harder.
I think it's just raising
different.
Kids. We're just raising kids the same as sticks and bricks.
Same as everybody else. And I would say everyone that has kids is probably this stage isn't necessarily easier or harder. It's just different.
It's just different. Each stage is different.
It's very different. So,
I'd say it's a mix then.
It's a mix.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay, so how much do you love this for your kids? Obviously we love it a lot. It's been 4 years, right? We set out for a year. That's what we thought.
So proud of our family. And I'm so proud for the life that they're getting to live. I'm so proud that they get to go on adventures and be with their parents all the time, and for us to get to spend so much time together. I wouldn't trade that for anything in this world, and I think I'm very happy that they get to live this life.
Yeah, I think it's cool.
Because they get, really honestly, the best of all of it. They get to see all of our friends and family from where we are, but also get to travel the world and
get to see things
get to see all these things
I've never seen in my life
until now. So I'm very happy for them.
Yep. I think this kind of goes into it. How do your kids have any long-term relationships? So
I got this question the other day, and I was like,
I don't know.
So what the lady had asked me was, I just don't understand how they're able to hold, like, to have that opportunity to have a long-term relationship. And I was like, well, what do you mean? And she was like, well, other than family and friends, or other than family, how do they meet someone and stay? But it didn't really make sense to me, because I feel like you can make a connection with a friend at a young age. You don't have to see them or play with them every single week or every day. You don't even do that when you live next door to someone, typically.
I mean, if you have to go to school with them every day, I guess, but they wouldn't be going to school, a normal school, if we were in a Sticks and Bricks. They'd be homeschooled there too.
Yeah.
So to us, and they meet a lot of people, a lot of kids, and we try to do our best, and we do really well in meeting back up with these people, and they remember them and get to see them again. So I think it teaches them on the back end, how to say bye, how to say hello, how to grow. So I think there's a lot of positives.
How to make an effort, I guess, to keep those long distance relationships so that they do become long-term relationships, is what she asked. I think they're going to be just fine. I think they're going to be just long-term relationship department.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty confident in that.
Yeah, so. I think they're making connections just fine.
Yeah. Okay, so the next one is, how do you have date nights?
You don't.
Short answer is you don't. Right?
You
I mean,
don't.
look, we travel just with us. We do go.
Screen time.
Yeah, this is our date night right now.
Whoop! We're living large.
There you go. Yeah.
Our date nights are YouTubing.
We put the kids down at night, and that's kind of our time to do what we want to do.
Yeah. Typically, their bedtime is like 8.
Yeah.
8
but
p.m.
Look,
it doesn't always work out.
We chose it. We knew what it was going to be, right? We don't have the help on the road. When we do go back to Oklahoma and family, we do get a date night and stuff.
We have a lot of date nights with our kids.
Yeah, we do that.
And we're okay with that. I know that doesn't work for a lot of people, and that's okay too.
But one day these kids won't be here, and we'll have plenty of those.
And and then I'll be like, oh my god.
Right.
Yeah. Can I get some grandkids already now? So yeah, we're really just enjoying them in this moment while enjoying each other as well. So what's next?
What's your favorite state?
Okay.
So when she wrote this question down, my thing was, well, is it what state would I want to live in, or what state have I been to?
Oh yeah, that's a good.
One of my favorite states that I've visited that I probably wouldn't live in. I loved Idaho. It's not that I wouldn't live there, but where we were at was in the southern part of Idaho. It was absolutely gorgeous. Utah, southern Utah, all those national parks. I wouldn't live there, but beautiful. Living wise,
Tennessee is fantastic.
I'd live there though. North Carolina.
I would live in Tennessee.
We love Arkansas. Northwest Arkansas.
Parts of Arkansas. Northwest Arkansas is phenomenal.
Yeah, we love it
there. It's beautiful. We could see ourselves settling there one day. Maybe.
So that is a hard question, I think.
It's very hard.
We've been to 29 states, and they've all
there's
had
just
their
beauty in all of them.
all had their
we
positives.
love Texas. Texas has it all. You've got the ocean. You've got some Texas mountains. They're not huge, but still.
Still got hill country and all that good stuff. So I would say every state has its own positive and negatives behind it. So
one of my favorites that we have visited, I would not want to live there, is southern Utah. There's 5 national parks there. I highly recommend that for everybody. You got to see it at least once in your life. It's awesome.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
So on to the next. Are you fast-paced travelers or a mix of both? Sorry. I would say we're fast-paced, right? When it comes to living full-time, a lot of people we meet stay in one spot for maybe 2 to 6 months or something like that.
Yeah.
We don't stay anywhere longer than a month. Unless we go back to Oklahoma, and it might be like a 2-month stint in the winter for the holidays. Other than that, we move pretty quickly. Every month at least. Sometimes it's 2 or 3 times during the month.
Yeah. That's not ideal for us. We like to do monthlies and move just a little bit slower so we can really explore the area and enjoy our time there.
Yeah.
But sometimes it just works out to where we kind of need to go a little quicker.
Yeah, but I would say, for us, I mean...
But we're pretty fast-paced compared to a lot of
people. For 4 years. I mean, we've been to 110 plus campgrounds over 4 years. That's a lot.
Yeah.
So we move, and how I've always looked at it is, if I'm going to sit and be somewhere, I'm just going to sit and be there in the house, probably.
Yeah.
The whole point to me of the lifestyle was to move and go see and go do.
Yeah.
While we have the opportunity,
because you never know what tomorrow holds. You never know how long this is going to last for us, or what. So we just don't want to miss any opportunity to travel and do what we're doing.
Yeah, we love it. So we are on to the last question, and that is, what is your end game? That's a tough one, because we really don't have one.
We literally, I think our whole entire lives, honestly, our relationship together, we've kind of just flown by the seat of our pants, and everything just seems to really fall into place and work out how it's supposed to. I don't know if that sounds cliche or not, but it just is. We didn't have a plan to do this in the first place, and we just got this crazy idea, jumped into it, and here we are 4 years later, still doing it. I do think we will probably want to settle back down sometime, but in a way that we can still travel. We never want to settle and be, house poor. Yeah, where we can't travel again. I think our next thing that we would love to do is start traveling internationally, which we're about to do in November. It's a cruise, so I know that's kind of cheating.
First time for the kids, so that'll be awesome.
I know that's kind of a cheat, but we would like to start maybe planning things to travel international, to actually see the world and not just the United States.
And I think, once we do settle down, it would be something like we buy some land and maybe do an RV park or a resort of some style. I mean, we've talked about that, but that would cause us to have to stop doing this piece of it. So until we're ready
for a while, until we got it up and running.
But until we're ready to stop, there really is no end game. We're just going to keep pumping through this and seeing as much as we possibly can see, and we'll kind of just go from there. Yeah. So who knows? It could end next week. I don't know. So we'll just let it ride out.
To those of you who did reach out and ask us questions, thank you so much for giving us this content to share with you. If you are watching this and you have any other questions, private message us, DM us. We'll do another Q&A, as many as it takes to answer all of your questions.
I know it's a lot of talking, a lot of us. There's really no action here, but I think it's important when people ask us questions to answer those questions.
Yeah, absolutely. And especially having the experience of doing this for the last 4 years. We don't know everything, but we know a lot.
I'm learning more every day.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you enjoyed this, as always, show us some love.
Yeah, like and subscribe.
Yes, and stay tuned for next week's video.
Peace.
Bye.